I am really, really, really pumped to talk about this topic because changing your mindset changes everything. And this is when I was able to hack into here and just change the way that I view my life as a student, when I was a student, and even now as a working DPT. Woo! It changed the freaking game. So today I'm going to tell you how to have that level up mindset. I'm going to teach you how to have that level up mindset from going from a pre-PT student to a student of physical therapy to a doctor of physical therapist. Woo! Guys, I am pumped. Now, throughout today's video, if you have any questions regarding anything, please make sure you comment below. Alright guys, so I want to share a personal story of mine when I was on that journey trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Now, for those of you who don't know, when I was around 18 years old, I went to college and I dropped out. And this was a huge deal, not only for me, but also to my family, you know? My family really valued higher education and college and all of that. And to have a son who was a college dropout was a big deal. So you can imagine not only the heartache in my family, but also the shame that I felt as a son. It was really hard. And it took me several years to figure out what I really wanted to do with my life. And I was going in and out of college, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I was failing my classes. And by the time I actually transferred into school, I was going in with a 2.3 GPA. Damn, that is like really crazy. Really crazy. But before I go on into that story, for those of you who are students right now, I want to just celebrate you because in the midst of COVID-19, you guys have been adapting to the new learning environment. You guys were choosing to stay within this path of physical therapy. And even though that all these classes were telling you to say like, oh man, you know, this is so boring, it's online classes, it sucks. Those of you who are physical therapy students, you guys are all about hands-on experiences and labs, and you can't get that because of social distancing. It can really put a damper in your journey, your educational journey. But you chose to persevere. You chose to adapt and still say yes to this profession despite this COVID restriction, despite people and the internet telling you, hey man, don't go to physical therapy. The cost is way too high for the amount of money that you're gonna make. I want to celebrate you and say you're doing a phenomenal job and that you are on the path towards changing so many people's lives. The path of physical therapy is so unique. No other healthcare profession can compare to what we do as a physical type of treatment rather than shots or medicine or anything else like that. And you will impact so many people's lives. Please take my word for that. You will make a difference in this world. Woohoo! All right. So I just want to say that you're making the path to greatness. Okay. So my journey was really hard. And during the time when I chose to become and go on the path of physical therapy, it was like, I don't know what I was doing, and I had so many different habits that were just so bad, and I just want to talk about that a little bit. The first habit that was really challenging for me to overcome was my habit of limiting self-belief. Now, those of you who are watching this might be for you. I might be talking exactly to you. Now, comment below or raise your hand. I know this is virtual, I'm not seeing you, but raise your hand if you doubt yourself. I doubt myself all the time. And even worse, when I was a student, thinking if I was even worthy enough to become a physical therapist, worthy enough to even get into physical therapy school, worthy enough if my GPA or where I am was even worth looking at in the application process. But I want to tell you that your story and where you are now does not define where you are going to be. Now, those of you I know might say, yeah, Justin, my GPA is not good enough. No school is gonna look at me. Hey, Justin, I know my GRE and my observation hours, especially right now during COVID-19, I don't have enough. I'm not unique enough. I don't have enough extracurriculars that make me stand out. And although those things are important, I want to emphasize your story and the message that you can share from where you came. A lot of you are saying, I don't know what makes me unique. I don't know what I can share about my life that is going to help me stand out, right? As a pre-PT applicant, and also as someone who's going to apply to become a physical therapist later on. And I don't know if that's just, who I am and where I've come from is unique enough. Bro. Your story is the most unique story that you can ever share. And if you need help just highlighting and picking out those parts of what you've experienced and where you came from, I can help you do that. Because there is nothing more unique than your story. You can do all the extracurriculars, you can do all these different things, but your story, where you came from, your upbringing, your environment, your family, your struggles, creates the beautiful message that you can write on your personal statement, that you can share in your physical therapy interview, that you can share when you are applying for your position as a future physical therapist. Oh man. And so those of you who are doubting yourself, man, I'm a part of that statistic, I'm a part of that statistics, that number that says, hey, I'm not going to get into physical therapy school. I'm not going to even apply. Are you going to choose to view yourself as a number, or are you going to choose to see yourself as a beaming, unique story? You have to change your mindset from thinking and doubting yourself to thinking and becoming that unique part, that unique story. And you need to highlight that. You need to spend days, hours, weeks, months just thinking about what your story entails. Because that, my friend, is the strongest part of your application. And of course, GPA boosts you up. Your personal statement, your GRE scores, all of that helps you stand out. But nothing will help you stand out more than your story. You have to think about it in that way versus thinking about it as like, I'm just a number. So I want to ask you, are you a lukewarm self-believer? Are you do you have lukewarm thoughts about yourself? Because if you do, then the people who are going to look at your application are going to think you as mediocre. I'm sorry, no one wants to accept a student or hire somebody who thinks themselves as mediocre. You need to change that limiting belief to start seeing yourself as someone who believes in themselves. When I was a 2.3 GPA student, I was a lukewarm self-believer. Man, no one's gonna hire me. No one's gonna accept me. I'm a 2.3. I'm way below average. But you know what? When I started changing myself and saying, you know what? I have so many things that I can offer. I have so many experiences that I was able to go through in my life. I had so much unique stories in my upbringing that all of this is going to make me into a great physical therapist. And that's what you need to focus on. You need to start changing your mindset from self-belief to pro-belief, okay? And that is so important. And look, you guys might be devoted to this physical therapy journey, right? But if you do not have desire to become a physical therapist, you could be doing all the works, but if you're like, I'm mediocre in this process, I'm not sure if this is what I want to do, man, you will not make it in this journey for the long haul. You might be able to make it for a little bit, right? You might be able to get into PT school, but once you become a physical therapist, if you are not devoted, if you don't have the desire, you're not gonna make it, man. I'm telling you right now, right? So in order to be devoted, you have to have desire. Now, what is desire? Desire is that burning feeling inside you that's just like, I can't control this. I need to do everything that I possibly can to make it to this profession. And going in as a 2.3 GPA student, that is what I did. I had the desire to want to do great things in my life and to make an impact and change the world. And so the devotion started to follow, right? So we got to start from the inside to outside. Oh man, guys, that is so crazy. That is like, if you're resonating with that, please make sure you comment below for that, okay? Now, check this out, you guys. During COVID-19 right now, there are a lot of things that has happened. And I know that you've had this plan of, hey, I'm gonna get my classes here. I'm gonna get my observation hours here. I'm gonna ask my letter of recommendation here. But because of COVID, all of that went down the drain. But it's okay, because what matters most, yes, I applaud you for planning ahead, and that is awesome. But what matters most is how you will respond to this scenario, this season, right? If you're going to respond and just be sorry for yourself and say, I can't apply, I can't get all these classes, I can't do all these things, and you tried one time and that's it, you're not going to make it in this profession, right? As a physical therapist, you had all these plans to help someone, and then and you said, okay, I'm going to work on their range of motion, I'm going to get them out of pain, and then I'm going to start strengthening them, and then they're doing well, and then you're like, okay, today we're going to really work on getting them stronger. And then they come in saying like, hey man, I slipped and I fell and my knee is super swollen up. You have to respond appropriately, and you have to make the right decisions to try and try and try and keep trying, not one thing, but 2, 3, 4, 5 things to make your outcomes happen for you. Happen for you, okay? That is so important. Please, if you're just trying one time to get observation hours and you tried one clinic, and it doesn't work out for you, if you try just one college to see if, hey, do they have my biology class that I can take or anatomy physiology class that I can take, and it doesn't work out for you, and then you give up, you're done. That's that is such a poor mindset. I'm gonna call this out right now. That is such a poor mindset to have. You need to have the mindset of tenacity, right? To try things, keep on trying. You get knocked down, you trip up, you pick yourself back up, and you try and try and try again. You try one clinic, doesn't work out, try 5 more clinics. You tried one college, doesn't work out, try 6 more colleges. How many community colleges are there around you? How many online classes, online colleges can you get into so that you can stay on track for your physical therapy application cycle? If you try just one time, I challenge you to try 5 more times. Guys, this is crazy, right? I remember when I was in physical therapy school, my hardest subject was neurology, okay? And this was by far The most challenging class I've ever had. I remember taking I remember taking my first exam and failing that. I got a D or C minus in there. And I could have had that mindset of, oh, you know what? I tried my best, did that first time. I didn't score as good as I can. Man, this class sucks for me. I'm not gonna do this anymore. And then I could have just failed that class and just spiraled. But I said, you know what? Even though I got this C minus and I gave it my best shot, maybe the strategies, maybe my approach was not appropriate for this situation. So I need to do everything that I can to pick myself up and try again in a different way, in a different strategy, a different approach, a different perspective. And so what did I do? I emailed my professor. I went into office hours. I talked to my classmates. Hey, what are you guys doing right now? I talked to the classmates that got the A's in the class or A's in that first exam. And I said, what did you study? What did you look at? What were the important key things that you were looking at? Because I don't get it and I can't do this myself. And so I tried second exam, B minus. Not at the standard that I wanted to get at. So I tried again, right? Even though I didn't make where I wanted to go, it was a little improvement. But you know what? I knew I wanted more for myself, and I hope you guys want more for yourself too. If you're in a class right now and you're taking that exam, you don't score as high as you want to, and then you take that second exam and you still don't score as high as you want to, keep on trying, you guys. Keep on trying. That is like so important. You know that blue engine that thinks the blue engine that thinks they could, or whatever it is. I think I can. You need to keep trying, keep having that self-belief. I think I can. When you are devoted to that, then you are going to have that the outcomes come. When you have that desire to want that A, you're going to be devoted and do whatever it takes to get there. And so my neurology class, that second exam, I got that B minus. And I kept trying. I went to the professor. What do I need to study? What is there? I'm missing something because I'm just not getting this. And so I tried. And then on that final, I did get that A. And I actually passed the class with an A minus. Whew. Guys, I'm telling you right now. And that mindset can be scaled to not only one class, but all your classes. Bio, chemistry, physics, right? Psychology, all those classes that are really hard for you and you just don't get it. GRE, right? Some of you are scoring poorly even though you've taken your practice exam. Keep on trying. Go for it. Guys, I can't tell you enough. After the class of neuro, I emailed my professor and I said, I wanted to thank you so much because this class has challenged me so hard. I was so used to trying my best and actually scoring to a relatively high degree, right? But this class, I didn't get it. And I wanted to thank the professor and I said, you know what, I wanted to thank you for challenging me in this way because I have been stretched so hard and humbled so deep. But through this struggle, I learned so much. Like through that class, through that 16-week neuro class, I don't know how many times I cried. I don't know how many hairs I pulled out. I don't know how many long nights that I had studying and just trying to understand the material over and over again. But after I passed with that A minus, guess what? Even today, when I am struggling with my patience and I'm not getting it, I'm trying one thing, not working, I'm asking my coworkers, it's still not working. And I could easily go into that limiting self-belief and say, you know what? I can't do this. Forget this patient, I'm just gonna hand them over and say, this isn't working. I think back to my neuro class And think about how much growth and what I've learned, and think about the characteristics and the traits of tenacity, the characteristics of not giving up and trying one way. That's not working. Try the other way, and then another way. I keep reflecting to those struggles in my life to help my work as a physical therapist. And those of you who are students right now who are struggling in a certain class, try different options. Try one way, doesn't work out. Try a different way, doesn't work out. Keep on trying. That is like so important. You have to understand that it's about progress and not perfection. It's about progress and not perfection. Okay? Now, last thing I do want to mention, you guys, as you are going through the journey of life and going from high school to undergrad to DPT school, doctorate school, you have to understand that these are progressions in education. You have undergrad, then higher education, right? High school, undergrad, graduate, and higher education. You have to know that the intensity and the strategies that you use in a lower level school, you can't expect to study that same way and still perform at this higher level, right? So something that I learned when I was in grad school is that I was using strategies and study habits that I was using in my undergrad, and I realized that wasn't enough. And I think some students are struggling with this right now, because you might have studied a certain way in high school, and then now you're an undergrad in chemistry and you're like, dude, I'm not performing well as my high school classes. Dude, you are in college now. You're not in high school anymore. Or those of you who are in PT school right now, you might be struggling through a class like statistics, or maybe your ortho or neuro or pediatrics class, and you're like, I studied a certain way in undergrad, and you're not performing the way you are now. Dude, you are in doctorate school. You need to level up your studying. You need to level up the way you think, level up the way you strategize, you level up the way you approach your study habits. You need to change some things that are not so good study habits that you might have been able to get by with. Oh yeah, I was able to study the night before. Or yeah, I was able to watch Netflix and hang out with my friends, and then maybe a day or two before I could just do so well in that exam. Not the same anymore. Your education is leveling up, and you need to stay leveled up with it as well. And if you don't, you're gonna fall behind as things continue to progress. And eventually, you're gonna get knocked out. You're gonna have to drop out. You might even have to say, you know what? This is not the profession for me. But I would hate it if you chose to go off from physical therapy because you just didn't try enough. I would hate it for you to not choose physical therapy anymore because you didn't choose to try again. You know, if you have been tripped up and didn't get the result you wanted the first time, it would really break my heart if you just gave up at that point. And if there is anything that you were to learn from today's video, would be to keep on trying. Level up your mindset, level up your approach, and keep on working. If one way doesn't work, you keep on trying. And when you become a physical therapist in the future, you're gonna have patients where you try one thing that you learned in school and it's not going to work. But you have to make that decision. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing and the person's not gonna get better. You're doing a disservice for that patient. And right now, if you are a student and you are not studying hard and you're not trying to do the best that you possibly can, you are doing a disservice for your future patient. If you are in physical therapy school and you're going through neuro right now and you're like, this isn't the subject for me, later on when you get a neuro patient, which you will, you're going to be doing them a disservice because you weren't responsible for learning the information now, and that you could have been able to help them so much more. That patient is going to see you and only you, and you have the power, the authority to help them get either to here or to here. And if that patient was my mother or my father or someone that I really loved, I would hope that you treat them to aim to get them to here and not just to get by. So please, if you're a student right now, don't just get by. Don't just go through it and say, you know what, I'm cool with it, and then forget about it, and then come back the next week, forget about it, and then just get by it and just pass the class. If you have that mindset, please go somewhere else. Please choose a different profession, because we don't want you here. We want to make a difference as physical therapists. We want to change the world. We want to change. The world is already waking up that exercise and movement is a way better form of medicine than any kind of pharmaceutical pill or a shot, right? It saves you way more money. It prevents so many diseases. And we as physical therapists are the pioneers. We are the leaders. And you right now, if you're on this path, you are training to be a leader, to lead others in this field. And if you give just your mediocrity, please, either you change your mindset or go to a different profession, because we don't want you here. We want the best, and we want to help people to get to their best. Oh man, guys, I am sweating because I'm just so passionate about this topic. But guys, I just want to thank you for listening in on today's video. This is so important to me, and having this mindset of leveling up from being a pre-PT student to a student of physical therapist to a future physical therapist is like a game changer. And I truly, truly, truly believe that it starts on the inside and then it goes to the outside. You build that desire and then the devotion will come. Oh, guys, thank you so much for today's video. I really appreciate your time. If this resonated with you at all, please drop in the comments what you thought about this video and about changing your mindset to having that level up mindset. I hope this video helped you level up and just get you to that next level, to help you grow a little bit more and to maybe just change your perspective on your academic journey. So I thank you so much, you guys. Stay lifting, stay aloha. Have a great one, you guys.